Hello guys, I hope you all are well. I know I'm late because there was a lot of glitches which were happening. I don't know why this keeps happening, but I'm trying that this would inshallah sort out soon as well. Ah. चलें जी, आई थिंक लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. आगे ही हमने काफ़ी टाइम जो है ना लगा लिया इसके ऊपर. एक सेकेंड दीजिएगा, जस्ट लॉगिंग इन. I hope it doesn't cause much trouble because we already have had a lot of time in this thing. I'm just trying to do this last thing and then let's get started inshallah ta'ala. I think yes, it has started working. Hi guys, so let me just share this on the web as well. चलें जी, let's get started and I'm just going to share it on Instagram and we're good to go. अच्छा जी, space constraint guys, sorry. Let me just share this thing. चलें जी, let's get started. After all the glitches we have had, I think this should not be a big issue now. So I'm just going to paste it. All right, so I think we are here. Yes, are we here? I am hoping we are. Perfect. Arham said that he has joined, and Arham, I just want you could say sign that you are here and then I could start because I have had so many issues. So I'm hoping that you have joined. Perfect. There were so many problems which were coming up, so I just joined in from here. And Arham, can you write in the chat? So I'm just testing it with you since people are just joining in. I've just shared the link. People can join in whenever they want to. And let's get started. I know that it's already. Let's connect this as well. Okay ji. I think Arham can hear me now. So I'm hoping Arham you can hear me as well, and we can sort this inshallah. think इसको इधर ही रखते हैं. चलिए let's get started. Sorry about getting it a little later as well. Arham says he has, but I can't see anybody. Chale, let's get started. Okay, so I have combined O levels and IGCSE MCQs here, and I have focused on basically the topics which you guys said that you guys have difficulty in. So let's start with these questions. So we have the arrangement of electrons in two ions formed from element X and Y, which are shown. So we have element X, and you can see from the configuration कि हमारे पास जो element X है that is present in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 group number 8. So this is present in group 8, and if you look at this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, this is present in group 8 as well. ठीक है, दोनों group 8 में, because valence shell में हमारे पास 8 electrons है. Which equation represents the reaction between element X and Y? So now when X and Y are reacting, what should be it? Arham, can you hear me properly? Is my voice audible? Because we are having a test run through you. So I'm hoping that you are able to hear me as well. Yes? Because I can't see anybody writing in the chat. Let me just check if the chat is working. Is the chat working? I'm hoping it is working. Chale, whatever that is. Is the Arham, can you write it down? Because I said that. Hello. Finally, I know that there were so much issues with it. Because I initially thought to go through the teasing circle, but because I have committed and I was like, I feel so bad, I was not able to log in from there. There was one issue after the other, so I thought to just log in from here. I know that many people are not able to see it, so I've linked it to Instagram, so whenever anybody watches it, they can go through the video as well. Achha ji, which equation represents the reaction between element X and Y? So when we talk about element X and Y, you can see that we have group number 8 two elements, and we have proton number 19 and proton number 17 which are there, which equation represent a reaction between element X and element Y in this case. And when you look at the number of neutrons which are same, but the proton numbers are different. ठीक है ना? So यहाँ पे हमारे पास जो protons है 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. अच्छा, we are not looking at the, okay, so I looked at the electrons, which was wrong for me to do. I have to look at the number of protons, which is telling me that this is 19 and which is 17 in this case. And when you look at the proton number tells you the identity of that element. So if I have 19, so this is going to be 2 8 8 1. Yes, that is going to be potassium. And if this is 17, this is going to be chlorine. ठीक है, क्लोरीन का प्रोटॉन नंबर 17 होता है, so this is going to be 287 in this case. And when you look at this configuration, I think इसके अंदर एक shell they have eaten up one electron. हाँ, this is the problem. इसके अंदर I think there was an error or something. They should have been like this. और इसके अंदर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन उन्होंने ज़्यादा डाला हुआ है. What have they done? Okay, so this is going to be 287, and you know that group 1 and group 7 may we can have a reaction, and we are going to need one of each in this case. So which reaction represent X in this? So we can have this one as X2 plus 2Y is going to give us this. No, this is not going to be correct. And X is going to be plus 1. Yes, it's not going to be minus in this case. We are going to have Y2 because it's going to be diatomic. Chlorine is diatomic. You all know that, right? And this is going to be 2 potassium. When we balance it, potassium plus Cl2, it's going to give you K plus 2Cl minus in this case. ठीक है, यहाँ पे why we are writing, because we know potassium chloride की जब we ionic equation जब बनाते हैं, so it's going to be formed like this. What is the empirical formula of an oxide of iron formed by reacting 2.24 grams of iron with 0.96 grams of oxygen in this case? Now if you look at this reaction, empirical formula is being asked of iron. and we have 2.24 grams of iron, and this you all know how to calculate the empirical formula, right? So यहाँ पे 2.24 grams divided by 56, which is iron, ratio oxygen is 0.96 divided by 16 in this case, ठीक है? And when I use the calculator, so 2.24 divided by 56, I get 0.04, and I have 0.96 divided by 16, I get 0.06. 0.04, because when we talk about the empirical formula, we divide it with the smallest number, so it's going to be 1 ratio, and when I divide it, I get 1.5. Okay, now please remember, when I talk about your empirical formula, ठीक है, empirical formula में अगर हमारे पास decimal आ जाए, so what we have to do is we have to not round it off. Many people, what they do is they round it off and they make it 2. You don't have to make it 2, ठीक है? What you have to do is you're going to multiply it with the smallest number to make it a whole number. That means I'm going to be multiplying it with the 2. In this case, both values are going to be multiplied with the 2, and I'm going to get 2 ratio 3 as the answer, and the iron oxide is going to be Fe2O3 in this case. I hope this is clear to everyone, ठीक है? Which reaction takes place at the cathode during the electrolysis of molten nickel chloride? Now, when we talk about electrolysis, we have been talking about certain mnemonics within the class as well. So we have something which is called as panic. Positive is anode. So positive is anode and negative is cathode here. ठीक है, पॉजिटिव जो हमारा होता है दैट्स गोइंग टू बी एनोड, द नेगेटिव वन इज कॉल्ड एज योर कैथोड है. नाउ व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट एनोड एंड कैथोड, यू नो दैट पॉजिटिव वन इज एनोड, नेगेटिव वन इज कैथोड. सो व्हाट्स गोइंग टू हैपन हियर इज कि हमारे पास जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, व्हेन एवर यू आर गिवन द मॉल्टन, यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट द मॉल्टन केस. व्हाई? बिकॉज वी जस्ट हैव वन पॉजिटिव एंड वन नेगेटिव इन दिस केस. द प्रॉब्लम इज गोइंग टू अराइज व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू हैव जी अरहम, आई नो इट्स यू, आई नो ठीक है, I know it's you. Now the problem is going to be when you have aqueous. Now you know that opposite charges are going to have attraction. So when I talk about nickel chloride NiCl2 in this case, ठीक है ना, so this is going to have Ni+2 and Cl -1 charge, and nickel is going to go to the cathode and chloride ion are going to go at the anode. So you can always cross that up, and they're asking at the cathode. So cathode पे what is going? Nickel. And now this half equations, many people have a problem when writing the half equations or how to go about writing the half equations. Now what happens at the electrodes is that electrode पे जो हमारे पास process होता है that is called as discharging. That means you're going to get rid of the charges which you have accumulated. यानी कि जो extra charge लिए हुए थे, निकल ने अपने 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स दिए हुए थे, इट्स गोइंग टू आस्क फॉर इट बैक, जो पैसे कंट्रीब्यूट किए हुए थे. आई ऑलवेज एक्सप्लेन इट लाइक आई यूज्ड टू डू इट व्हेन आई वाज अ किड एज वेल, दैट when me and my sister used to play and we used to have a fight, what we used to do is that after that fight we used to say कि अच्छा मेरे पैसे जो थे या मेरी जो candies थी, return it to me. So that happens with these electrodes as well. They're going to say that okay, whatever you have taken you have to give it back, because the electrons are given up by nickel, those electrons are going to be taken up, ठीक है. So nickel is going to have a +2 charge and it's going to add up 2 electrons into it to this form nickel in this case, ठीक है. So you can very clearly see that this equation is equation number D. If anybody has any confusion, you can always write in the chat and let me know कि ये चीज़ समझ में नहीं आई. अच्छा जी, now we have a question which is going to be for your reaction. Let me just minimize my screen a little bit so you can see what is written. अच्छा जी, ethane reacts with hydrogen to form ethane. Now this is a pretty simple one, but we are given this bond energy table which we have to utilize in this case, ठीक है. बॉन्ड एनर्जी टेबल इज गोइंग टू टेल अस कि हम लोगों ने जब बॉन्ड तोड़े हैं, नाउ वी बेसिकली हैव टू कैलकुलेट व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज डेल्टा एच, एंड द फॉर्मूला फॉर डेल्टा एच इज गोइंग टू बी एंडोथर्मिक माइनस योर एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शंस, ठीक है, एंडोथर्मिक माइनस योर एक्सोथर्मिक. नाउ इट्स ऑलवेज, इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी कि हमेशा आपको इस तरीके से इक्वेशन दी हो, It's not always going to be necessary कि आपको इस तरीके से equation दी हो. Sometimes the equation is going to be given the other way round. Yeah, it's going to be written in the symbol equation. You have to write the displayed formula of that yourself. ठीक है. Now you can see that we have C double bond C. I have C double bond C. So please energies ध्यान से लगानी है. So we have 614 here. ठीक है. Plus we are going to count the number of hydrogens. Carbon, hydrogen, 1 bond, 2 bond, 3rd and 4th. So that means I have carbon hydrogen bond which is 410 and I have 4 of this. So I'm going to multiply it with 4 of these. Okay, so this is going to be for my ethene. Hydrogen hydrogen bond is having an energy of 436 plus 436 into this, which is going to give me of this. Now let's count these properly. When I count this, it's going to be carbon carbon bond, which is going to be a single bond. It's going to be 350. So it's going to be 350 for carbon carbon single bond. Now please count them very you could say cautiously, because हम लोग पढ़ते कार्बन हाइड्रोजन है और लगा उल्टा देते हैं बॉन्ड एनर्जीज. ठीक है. सो कार्बन हाइड्रोजन हैज़ अ बॉन्ड एनर्जी ऑफ 410 एंड आई हैव 6 ऑफ दीज, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So I'm going to add 410 and I'm going to multiply it with a 6 in this case. ठीक हो गया. Plus that's it. Yeah, that's it. चलें जी, let's calculate the energy. Plug in your calculators guys. अपने calculators निकालें. Endothermic minus exothermic करें. What is the bond energy you guys are getting? So this is for the ethene and that is for your ethane. Plug this into your calculators and tell me what is your endothermic and what is your exothermic and what answer you guys are getting. हाँ जी, जल्दी जल्दी बताइएगा. Alhamdulillah. How's your MCQ preparation coming along, guys? Is it good? Is it not good? Are you working on it? What are the trouble areas? I'd love to hear about it in the chat if you guys would want to tell me anything about that. अच्छा जी, चलें निकालें. You all have your calculators? Okay. 614 plus 4 multiplied by 410 plus 436 is going to give me 2690 if I'm correct. ये आ रही है सबकी value? It's going to be 2690 in this case. और exothermic की क्या आ रही value? Exothermic की क्या value आ रही है? I'm just getting some water. So that's going to be 350 plus 410 times 6. I'm getting 2810 for this whole. Is everybody getting the same answer? Yes? Yes? Do we have a thumbs up there? So अब इसमें से हमने क्या करना है? 2690 minus 2810. 2690 minus 2810. So I'm getting a minus 120. अब even though you have calculated, ठीक है, even though you have calculated कि हमारे पास minus 120 आ रहा है, what you will be doing is that when you are calculating and you will just write pick C as the option. So don't do that. Double check your answer. It's an exothermic reaction, so the letter is going to be negative and answer is going to be B. कैलकुलेशन वाले क्वेश्चन आर प्रिटी इजी बिकॉज उसके अंदर कुछ रटा नहीं है, बस कैलकुलेशन की एंड जस्ट गेट द आंसर. ठीक है, चलें लेट्स गेट टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. If anybody wants me to repeat anything, just let me know. ठीक है. अच्छा जी, a student investigates the effect of concentration on the rate of reaction between calcium carbonate and hydrochloric acid. He follows the method which is shown. Place 1 gram of calcium carbonate in a conical flask. So let's make it. So we have a conical flask in which he has placed 1 grams of calcium carbonate. Add excess hydrochloric acid. इसमें हमने HCl डाल दिया. Let the reaction continue because हमने calcium carbonate डाला and you know that acid reacts with carbonates, right? You all know that acid reacts with carbonate. तो यहाँ पे हमारे पास कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस निकलेगी. इफ़ यू रिमेंबर द रिएक्शन कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट, रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन में यू गाइस हैव स्टडीड दिस रिएक्शन gazillion of times. So calcium chloride, sorry, plus carbon dioxide plus water, although they have not asked us, but just recapping the reaction. So let the reaction continue. No gases evolve, so हमारे पास जो gas निकलेगी, that's going to be carbon dioxide gas. Repeat the experiment with different concentration of hydrochloric acid. Each essential step has been left out of the method if he is to work out the rate of reaction. हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है. Now rate of reaction में we had two things. Do you guys remember what were the two things by which you could measure the rate of reactions? Anybody remembers that? Okay, rate of reaction में we used to have two things by which the rate of reaction can be measured. किसी को याद है? Now they are saying that which essential step has been left out of the method is if he is to work out the rate of reaction. Now if you guys remember, rate of reaction measure करने के लिए we used to have two things. We always used to talk about the reaction should be producing a gas. ठीक है, the reaction should be producing a gas और इसमें carbon dioxide produce हो रही है, and that should be that how are you going to collect that gas somewhere or the other. ठीक है ना, यहाँ पे उसने हमें कुछ नहीं बताया हुआ how we are going to collect that gas, or it is also has not told us कि अगर हम loss in mass की बात करें, there were two ways. Either we can collect the gas or we can talk about using a weighing balance and placing the conical flask on top of it. And when you place the conical flask on top of your conical flask, what's going to happen? There is going to be a loss in mass because the gas is going to escape from the cotton plug, not the rubber bung. ठीक है. So placing a bung in the flask, heating the reaction mixture, placing a bung in the flask, timing the reaction. Yes, for that you have to time the reaction as well. ठीक है. So catalyst तो हम यहाँ पे use नहीं कर सकते. Placing a bung अगर place कर दिया तो bung place करने से क्या होगा? Pressure build up हो जाएगा, आपकी flask टूट जाएगी. You don't need that. Heating the reaction mixture, we don't need to heat the reaction mixture because we are changing one factor, which is the concentration of hydrochloric acid. ठीक है. So what we are left with is option number C in this case. ठीक है. I hope everybody is clear about this point. चलें, कैलकुलेशन वाला पार्ट आ गया. लेट्स मूव टू द कैलकुलेशन पार्ट. ओके, 25 grams of hydrated copper to sulfate crystals are heated to produce anhydrous copper to sulfate and water vapors. ठीक है. आई थिंक ये वाला क्वेश्चन ऊपर चला गया हुआ है. क्या गड़बड़ की है इसके साथ? 12 and 35 अलग अलग क्यों लिखा हुआ है? एनीवेज, अच्छा जी. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट 25 grams, नाउ दे हैव गिवन अस, ये गलत लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे. या आई थिंक सो. एक MCQ यहाँ से गायब हो गया. एनीवेज, सो वी हैव कॉपर सल्फेट एंड दे हैव गिवन अस, दिस इज हाइड्रेटेड कॉपर सल्फेट. Hydrated copper sulfate means that it has water. Whenever you have crystals have water in them, and this is anhydrous. This is without water. ठीक है. So they are asking us कि हमारे पास इसका mass क्या है, and copper sulfate dot 5H2, they using this one, and they are asking कि इसका हमारे पास is given. Now they are given the MR of this one and this as well. So पहले हम निकाल लेते हैं MR of hydrated copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is 160 plus 5 into 18, and this is going to give me 250 as the MR of this. ठीक है. और they have given the mass. So you know number of moles is equal to mass divided by the MR. Mass is 25. This is going to be 250 and the moles are going to be 0.1. Double check कर लें फिर भी. So we are going to have 25 over 250, which is going to be 0.1 moles in this case. And उसके बाद हमने निकालना है. Now you can look at the mole ratios. Mole ratio means कि हमारे पास 1:1 mole है. This is 1 and this is 1. That means whatever the moles of copper sulfate are, the moles of whatever the moles of hydrated copper sulfate is, the moles of copper sulfate are going to be the same. ठीक है. So that means moles of CuSO4 equals to 0.1 as well. Okay, and because they have asked us the mass, so mass equals to moles multiplied by the MR, which is going to be 160. So it's going to come to be 16 grams. I hope everybody is clear about this point. I have some space constraint here. I don't know why that is, but there is a space constraint. There are a lot of things which are open right now. Yes, guys, shall we move to the next MCQ? The reaction between chlorine and bromide ions is a redox reaction. What is the change in oxidation state of the reducing agent in this reaction? Now, firstly, you have to remember what is a reducing agent and what is an oxidizing agent. किसी को याद है what is a reducing agent and what is an oxidizing agent? हाँ जी, anybody remembers? Chat थोड़ी lag करके आ रही है. Let me just double check it. ओके सो क्लोरीन हेयर यहाँ पे इसकी ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट 0 है, यहाँ पे -1 है. 0 से -1 ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट इज डिक्रीज, सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी रिड्यूस्ड. यहाँ पे Br इज -1 एंड यहाँ पे जाके 0 हो गई. सो Br में आपकी ऑक्सीडेशन होगी बिकॉज ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट इज बीइंग इंक्रीज्ड इन दिस केस. ठीक है, when you have increase in the oxidation state, that's called as oxidation. When you have decrease in oxidation state, that is going to be reduction. ठीक है, अच्छा जी. So you have the reaction between what is the change in oxidation state of the reducing agent. Up now the one which is being oxidized is the reducing agent. तो bromine जो है, bromide ion bromine जो बना रहे, that is your oxidized. ठीक है, so this is the reducing agent. The other way around, it's worked the other way around. So this is the reducing agent, and what is the change in oxidation state? So -1 से 0 हो गया, तो ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट -1 से 0 हो गई, so it's going to be B. Yes, it's going to be B. Yes, you're correct, Arham, you're right. अच्छा जी, iron can be protected from rusting by attaching a piece of more reactive metal, example magnesium, to the iron, which equation represents the reaction that take place. अच्छा जी, so we are talking about the sacrificial protection in this case. So we have magnesium के blocks लगा रहे हैं to the iron, and magnesium is going to corrode in place of this one. So magnesium क्या करेगा, Mg+2 और 2 electrons बना देगा. It's going to do that. ठीक है, so if anybody has problem with the half equation, they can let me know and I can re-explain them. Okay. Yes, sure, I can give some tips. Sure. Absolutely here to help you out in any way I can. I'm so sorry I'm late and I was stuck in the page and then I moved towards another page. Acha ji, the structure of 4 organic molecules are shown. Acha ji, now how many of you know how to make isomers? Everybody knows how to go about isomers? Yes or no? Yes, people, speak up. Everybody knows how to make isomers? Aisha, I'm doing mixed question. Hello Hadia, good to see you after long time. मेरी chat थोड़ी सी lag करके आ रही है, so that's why I'm just checking the chat from here as well. Aisha, these are mixed questions from recent and a little bit old papers as well. ठीक है, अच्छा, everybody knows how to make isomers? किसी को isomers नहीं बनाने आते तो they can let me know as well. ठीक है, अच्छा जी, अब when you look at the isomers in this case, so everybody knows, Aisha knows as well. Aisha, I've missed your voice in the, we used to have your presence in the live classes. Missed your voice actually. अच्छा जी, so do you want to name all these isomers or are you aware of that? How to name the isomers? Everybody remembers that? Okay. Which now when we talk about structure 1, so we have to name structure 1. We said that we are going to talk about the longest carbon chain, if you remember me naming the organic compounds. So we can either go about this way, this is going to be the longest carbon chain, or we can go about the other way around as well. Okay, so this is 1 2 3 4 carbons is going to be a butane, and मेरे पास, and we start counting from the side which has a side chain. अब side chain ये लगी हुई है मेरे पास, which is a methyl group, right? And this is 1, this is 2, and this is going to be 2-methyl butane, the name of this compound. ठीक है, this is going to be a 2-methyl butane which is there. अच्छा जी, now we have to check, we have 4 carbons in the main chain and 1 in this one. So we have to see which one are going to be the isomer, structural isomer of this structure 1. हाँ जी, कौन सा वाला लग रहा है? हाँ जी, anybody knows कौन सा वाला लग रहा है? 2, 3 and 4. Structure 1 को तो मैंने नेम कर दिया है. What are the names or the structures of the rest of the structures? If you look at 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, so these are the 4 carbons as well. 1 2 3 4, but this is not present. 1 2 3 4, this is not present on this one. This, no, okay, so this is not going to be a 4 carbon because this is going to be a 5 carbon chain. If you look at it, longest carbon chain is of 5 molecules. If you look at this, on the other hand, 1 2 3 of this one, but उसने isomer पूछा हुआ है. D, Huzaifa says D. Okay, Aisha says B. ठीक है. हाँ जी, अरहम, what do you think? अच्छा, अगर आप स्ट्रक्चर 1 देखें, अभी आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू इरेज इट. इफ यू लुक एट स्ट्रक्चर नंबर 1, इट्स डी. ओके, कमिंग टू दैट, एक सेकेंड, स्टे विद मी गाइज. अच्छा, अब आप स्ट्रक्चर नंबर 1 देखिए, 1 2 3 4 एंड कार्बन नंबर 5. ठीक है, और यहाँ पे मेरे पास 1 2 3 4 5 कार्बन्स थे. ठीक है, नाउ आई हैव नेम्ड स्ट्रक्चर 1 एज 2-methyl butane, and if you look at this structure which I have just highlighted, this is on position number 2. ठीक है, this is carbon number 2 which is going to be there 2, and this is going to be a methyl group, and this is a 4 carbon. तो इसमें और इसमें तो कोई फ़र्क ही नहीं है. Can you see that? There is no difference in both these structures. 2-methyl butane के अंदर, structure 1 के अंदर तो कोई फ़र्क ही नहीं है. If you can look at it, yes, they all are 5 carbon, but how can I arrange them? That means 2 option तो निकल गई, ये भी निकल गया, ये भी निकल गया. Am I clear? Because they're asking the isomer of it, and that means 2 is not going to be one of the answers. Now we are looking at 3 and 4. When I look at 3 and 4 on the other hand, so 1 2 3, now let's count हमारे पास carbons, because when we talk about the isomers, we can arrange them in any way we want to, right? We can arrange them in any way we want to. The first thing and the thing which we have to take care of is that carbon number and hydrogen number needs to be same as well. Butane is C4H10, and we have methyl which is CH3. so total हमारे पास formula इस तरीके से बनेगा इसका. ठीक है, so if you look at this 1 2 3 4 5, so it has C5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 10 11 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. yes, ठीक है, मेक सेंस. इसका ज़रा MR देखें, इनका जो फॉर्मूला है इज गोइंग टू बी सेम. थर्ड और फोर्थ का MR, इज इट गोइंग टू बी द सेम और नॉट? फोर्थ भी देखें और थर्ड भी देखें. इज द MR कमिंग टू बी द सेम? नॉट द MR, द फॉर्मूला. 1 2 3 4, this is C5 as well, and this is C5 as well. If you count just the carbons and hydrogens, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, so this is C5H12, this is C5H12 as well, 3 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. ठीक है, so it's going to be C, not D. फोर्थ को तुम लोगों ने बिल्कुल ही इग्नोर कर दिया. फोर्थ should not be ignored here. I hope this is clear. I have picked this question deliberately ताकि इस तरह का question हो, so you guys are clear कि अच्छा किस तरीके से हमने इसको solve करना है, ठीक है? Okay, let's move to the next MCQ. In this case, which chemical equation for the substitution of an alkene with chlorine is correct? Now you all know how these substitution reactions work as well. ठीक है, यू ऑल नो कि हमारे पास सब्सटीट्यूशन रिएक्शन किस तरीके से काम करते हैं, राइट? सो व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट द सब्सटीट्यूशन, हाउ दैट इज वर्किंग इज कि हमारे पास एक मॉलिक्यूल है और उसमें से मैंने एक हाइड्रोजन उतार दिया और उसकी जगह मैंने क्लोरीन लगा दिया. दैट इज व्हाट यू कॉल अ सब्सटीट्यूशन. सो इफ यू लुक एट C3H8 Cl2, so C3H7 and Cl and HCl, isn't it fine? C3H7 and Cl and HCl, isn't it fine? It looks fine to me. अभी लेकिन बाकी options भी देख लेते हैं. that okay, this is the option or we have another option. अच्छा जी, we have C3H6 plus Cl2. Now what is the problem is this, because इसके अंदर उसने आपके पास जो HCl2 दोनों लगा दिए and they have not replaced any hydrogen. यहाँ से एक हाइड्रोजन कम होता तो क्लोरीन लगता ना, because chlorine does not have any place to be attached in this case. तो यहाँ पे C5 होता और क्लोरीन एक होना चाहिए था यहाँ पर, ठीक है? So this is wrong. C3H8 plus Cl2, again C5 होना चाहिए यहाँ पे. C5HCl, इसके साथ क्या मसला है? C3H6, H5 कर दिया. सॉरी, ये हम लोग ये ऑप्शन नंबर 36 की आई थिंक इज गोइंग टू बी डी, विच इज गोइंग टू बी करेक्ट. नहीं, C3 नहीं, सॉरी, उसने फॉर्मूला यहाँ पे चेंज करके कंफ्यूजन कर दिया. सॉरी, माय बैड, मैं भी कंफ्यूज हो गई थी. सो C3H6 है या C3H8 है? बिकॉज व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट C3H6 दैट्स एन एल्कीन मॉलिक्यूल, ठीक है? C3H6 ये वाले पार्ट में और ये वाले पार्ट में दिस दे हैव रिटन एन एल्कीन. एल्कीन में सब्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं होती, एल्कीन में एडिशन रिएक्शन होता है. सो इस केस में आपके पास ऑप्शन नंबर ए में से चूज करना है या सी में से चूज करना है. सो योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज गोइंग टू बी ऑप्शन नंबर ए. आई होप एवरीबडी इज क्लियर अबाउट दिस. दिस कुड बी अ लिटिल कंफ्यूजिंग व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट इट. सो आई होप एवरीबडी इज क्लियर अबाउट दिस. A and D both are not correct because यहाँ पर when we talk about the starting material, Aisha, starting material हमारे पास C3H6 है which is an alkene, और हमारे पास जो substitution reaction है वो alkenes में होता है, alkenes में नहीं होता. Alkenes undergo addition reactions only. Okay, so that is the confusing part. C3H5 would have been correct in this case, but this is the problem here. ठीक है? Okay, let's move to the next MCQ. Propene is an alkene that reacts with bromine, steam and hydrogen as follows. Okay, so we have propene. Now propene goes addition reaction. Now what is the color change when you are going about addition reaction in the case of alkenes? Alkenes में जब addition reaction होता है, so what do you get? That means इसके अंदर J बनाएगा. J is going to be एडिशन रिएक्शन से आपका ब्रोमीन ऐड हो जाएगा डबल बॉन्ड के अक्रॉस. तो जो स्ट्रक्चर बनेगा, ये मेरे पास जो स्ट्रक्चर था वो ये था एंड दिस. ठीक है? नाउ व्हेन आई ब्रेक दिस डबल बॉन्ड, आई एम गोइंग टू हैव अ ब्रोमीन गोइंग टू बी अटैच्ड हियर एंड आई एम गोइंग टू हैव मे बी अ ब्रोमीन विच इज गोइंग टू बी हियर. Colorless to brown, yes, that is decolorization, right? Yeah, right, Hassan, you're correct. That आपके पास, और आपको पता है कि addition, okay, let me just revise that. When I talk about the addition reaction of alkenes, addition reaction in alkenes. Now when we talk about the addition reaction, हमारे पास खाली हाइड्रोजन भी ऐड हो जाता है. जब हाइड्रोजन ऐड हो जाता है, the product we get is what? Is an alkane. If I add water across it, जिसको हम hydration कहते हैं, so we are going to get an alcohol to it. If I add a bromine or any halogen to it, I am going to get a haloalkane. Haloalkane is basically alkane के साथ halogen लगा हुआ है. और एक रिएक्शन मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. Oh, polymerization. याद नहीं आ रहा. Polymerization. ठीक है? हुज़ैफा सेज डाइब्रोमोप्रोपेन, तो अब ब्रोमीन क्योंकि यहाँ पे बॉन्ड्स पूरे करने हैं तो एक ब्रोमीन यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे लग जाएगा, सो एक यहाँ पे आ गया और एक यहाँ पे आ गया, सो ये डबल बॉन्ड आपका टूट गया. सो वी आर गोइंग टू हैव बी एंड सी, ए और डी हमारी ऑप्शन कट जाती है. वर्क बाय एलिमिनेशन, दैट्स ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी हेल्पिंग यू गाइज आउट. ठीक है, सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी डाइब्रोमोप्रोपेन. देन वी हैव स्टीम. स्टीम के साथ जब रिएक्शन हो रहा है, टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस रिएक्शन, सो दे आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म एन अल्कोहल. अब एसिड तो नहीं बन सकता ना, एसिड तो नहीं बन सकता. वी आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म व्हाट, वी आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म प्रोपेनॉल इन दिस केस. एंड व्हेन इट इज रिएक्टिंग विद हाइड्रोजन, ओ हाइड्रोजन के साथ रिएक्ट किया तो एल्केन बनाया. तो अब एल्केन बनाया, सो एल्केन बनाने के लिए व्हाट इट नीड्स टू डू इज कि यहाँ पे एक हाइड्रोजन और यहाँ पे एक हाइड्रोजन लगा दी. सो आपके पास क्या बन जाएगा, प्रोपेन. सो द आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी बी. इज एवरीबडी क्लियर? सो एल्कीन्स के रिएक्शंस याद रखिएगा प्लीज. चलें आगे, हुज़ैफा, हसान, चलें आगे. Okay, a student performs two reactions. Now this is a very important MCQ because people often get confused in the rate of reaction questions. So ज़रा ग्राफ्स को ध्यान से देखिएगा because graphs are the ones which are going to help us understand it in a better way. अच्छा जी, so we have a student which performs two reactions. Reaction 1 is 10 grams of magnesium ribbon with excess. Now what are the factors which affect the rate of reaction? Just keep those factors in mind. We have a ribbon and we have a powder. You know that surface area, when the surface area is more, the rate of reaction is going to be more. So ये 5 gram, but you have more mass in reaction 1. ठीक है, mass ज़्यादा है उसके अंदर. And we are using the same concentration of hydrochloric acid. Yes, in both experiment the volume produced V is measured against time and then plotted. अब यहाँ पर if you look at the masses of both of them, so masses is going to tell us कि हमारे पास जो moles हैं they are going to be different as well. ठीक है, masses is going to tell us that the moles of the reactants which are consuming is going to be different. अगर मेरे पास same mass होता दोनों का तो मेरे पास जो volume of gas थी that should have been equal, तो मेरे पास A या B में से आंसर आता. अब I can without even thinking कि A और B नहीं हो सकता because the mass is different, that means the moles are going to be different as well. So I can just eliminate option number A and B and I can work on C and D then. ठीक है, when I work on C and D, now if you look at the magnesium powder and magnesium ribbon, which one is going to react at a faster pace? You know, when we're using powder is going to have a faster rate of reaction. ठीक है, more surface area which is going to be exposed and the gradient is going to be more steeper. That means कि मेरे पास जो reaction number 2 है that's going to start off with a steeper slope like this. ठीक है, but what's going to happen is because हमारे पास reaction 1 में we are using 10 grams, so it's going to take longer time and it's going to have this kind of curve. Reaction 2 मेरा जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा in this case. ठीक है, so answer is going to be D. वन रिएक्शन सी क्यों नहीं हो सकता? बिकॉज अगर आप देखो दैट मीन्स ये रिएक्शन 2 इज स्लोअर विच इज़ नॉट द केस बिकॉज वी यूजिंग अ पाउडर, सो इट नीड्स टू बी फास्टर रिएक्शन. ठीक है, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरी वन. यस हुज़ैफा. चलें जी, नेक्स्ट MCQ पे चलें. We have titration. Everybody remembers how to do about titration? मैंने ये क्वेश्चन खुद डाला था. Now there are 3 because I wanted to recap salt analysis with you guys. I know that salt analysis is something which you all struggle in. I don't know why. Solubility rules please memorize करके उसको घोल के पी जाइएगा कल के पेपर से पहले. उसके बाद उसको याद रखिएगा अगर आपने A-levels केमिस्ट्री रखनी है तो. ठीक है, I'll wait for you in the class which is going to start I think on 20th. So please join the classes and don't slag in A-levels. You don't have to slag in A-levels. Okay, when we talk about titration, there are 3 methods to produce a salt. So 3 कौन से method हैं? When we talk about the salt, we can have soluble salt. We can have an insoluble salt. Soluble salt को बनाने के 2 तरीके हैं. One is titration. The other one is excess method. Insoluble salt को बनाने के लिए we just have one method which is the precipitation. अब titration से जो salt बन रही है वो आपके पास soluble salt बन रही है, और अगर आपने group 1 की या अमोनियम की salt बनानी है you are going to go about titration. क्योंकि आप when you did the periodic table chapter you might remember कि we had group 1 metals, you can't directly add that to water. It was causing a blast. You were enjoying that although but it was a very exothermic reaction. So just imagine you can't do that with acid directly. So we are going to use alkalis of group 1 and we are going to react them with acid to form this kind of salt. And you know, we're going to use pipette, we're going to use a burette, we're going to use an indicator, we're going to repeat the experiment, and then we are going to get a salt out of it. Okay, so acid is going to be soluble, base is going to be soluble, salt is going to be soluble. Okay, so it's going to be D. बट अगर उसने कहा होता एक्सेस मेथड है तो उसके अंदर एसिड तो हमेशा सॉल्युबल है, ठीक है, बेस मेरी इसके अंदर इनसॉल्युबल है, सॉल्ट जो बन रहा है वो सॉल्युबल है, ठीक है, तो उसके अंदर मेरे पास ये वाली कहानी हो जाती एक्सेस मेथड के लिए. और प्रेसिपिटेशन के लिए क्या होती, आई एम जस्ट समराइजिंग इट डाउन फॉर यू, लेट मी यूज़ अ डिफरेंट कलर. अच्छा जी, इसके लिए सॉल्युबल सॉल्युबल फॉर प्रेसिपिटेशन एंड इनसॉल्युबल. So this is the key to remember कि कौन सा salt कहाँ पे use हो रहा है. Okay, a student tested a solution by adding aqueous sodium hydroxide. Precipitate was not seen because the reagent was added too quickly. What could not have been present in the solution? अच्छा जी, what could not have been present in the solution? हाँ जी, what do you guys think? I have to go back and forth and see that if the chat stream has been, you know, updated or not. It's a little laggy, so it takes me a little time. हाँ जी, anyone? It's B. It is B. If Hassan is saying it's B, it is B. लेकिन I don't know Hassan अभी reply कर रहा है या पहले का reply किया हुआ है. इसके अंदर I think I need to have the what do you call that, chat timer as well, or the chat stamp as well. So it's going to be B. कैल्शियम का प्रेसिपिटेट थोड़ी देर के लिए आता है, then it's dissolves in this case. ठीक है, अच्छा जी. Then we have a solution of fertilizer which was tested. अच्छा, एक equation which is very important from the paper perspective is your ammonium salt reacting with your alkali which is going to produce ammonia gas. This equation is very very important. ठीक है, सो अगर कल याद आ गई तो मुझे दुआ दे देना तुम लोगों को, अगर पेपर में कुछ इस तरीके से आ गया. ठीक है, अमोनियम सॉल्ट plus we are going to have an alkali, it's going to give you a salt plus water plus ammonia gas. This is a very important equation, हर पेपर में आई होती है and people have forgotten about this equation. अच्छा जी, we have a solution of fertilizer which was tested as shown. So fertilizer, you all know कि हमारे पास you can't do the process of fertilization and you can't do liming together because they are going to interfere and they are going to decrease the nitrogen content of the soil instead of increasing it. ठीक है, सो ये वाली बात आपने याद रखनी है. ओके, विच आयन मस्ट बी प्रेजेंट इन द फर्टिलाइजर. सो वी आर एडिंग नाइट्रोजन कंपाउंड्स, तो हमारे पास फर्टिलाइजर में प्रेजेंट हैं. वी आर हैविंग अ ग्रीन प्रेसिपिटेट. नाउ विच आयन गिव्स अ ग्रीन प्रेसिपिटेट? Anybody remembers which ion gives a green precipitate? ग्रीन प्रेसिपिटेट हमें दो देते हैं, एक क्रोमियम देता है और एक हमें आयरन देता है. ठीक है ना, सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी yes Hassan, Fe+2 green and gas produces ammonium ions. Exactly, so it's going to be option number B in that case. Fe plus नहीं Fe हाँ प्लस सॉरी C. ठीक है, मैं Fe+3 देख रही थी. Yes, iron in this case, बिल्कुल. और Fe+3 is going to give you a red brown color. तो उसको ज़रा देख लीजिएगा. I can't see the whole of the chat. Trying to squeeze the chat here a little. एक सेकेंड रुकिएगा. उस दिन ये सारा सेट किया, आज सारा हिल गया. उप्स, ये ज़्यादा छोटा हो गया. मुझे तो अपनी स्क्रीन ही नज़र नहीं आ रही चैट के चक्कर में. एक सेकेंड रुकिएगा गाइस. I am so bad at this. Like, I literally am so bad at this. I feel like crying at times because I'm new to this. I hope you guys are all can see my screen. मैंने चैट बड़े करने के चक्कर में अपने आप को छोटा कर दिया. Anyways, चलें, let's move to the next MCQ and I think I'll sort it out after this session. अच्छा जी. Now there are diagrams which are going to be drawn like this, which are called as your Lewis structure. Now these diagrams are basically drawn without the you could say shells. ठीक है. So these diagrams are good to go as well. And when we talk about the diagram, please remember कि आपने valence shell को complete करना है and your octet needs to be completed in this case as well. ठीक है. I don't know what I did, but anyways, I can't figure it out, but I can do it later on. I hope मैं सबको सही नज़र आ रही हूँ. अच्छा, so when we talk about nitrogen, so this is nitrogen. अच्छा, Lewis structure बनाना है, sorry. Nitrogen is bonded with another nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now you know कि नाइट्रोजन के अंदर ये दोनों तो एक साथ बॉन्ड कर जाएंगे. ये वाला और ये वाला भी मुझे यहाँ पे लाना पड़ेगा बॉन्ड करने के लिए, और ये वाला भी मुझे लाना पड़ेगा बॉन्ड करने के लिए, तभी इसका ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट होगा. मीनिंग वी आर गोइंग टू हैव समथिंग, नाइट्रोजन का लोन पेयर एट द टॉप, and we are going to have 1, 2 and 3, something of this sort and this. So आपका option number D is going to be correct. ठीक है. So your option number D is going to be correct in this case. अच्छा जी, solubility rules, your favorite है ना, सबके favorite है ना solubility rules. Everybody remembers solubility rules and how to work about the solubility rules as well. ठीक है. So when we talk about the solubility rules, yes, okay, when I talk about the solubility rules, what happens in the solubility is guys, is my screen okay? Because I feel that it is very minute for me. Is it okay for you guys? Yes, that is correct, Hassan. बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो. Electron pairs and we have lone pairs and we have bond pairs which are there. मेरी स्क्रीन सही नज़र आ रही है सबको? Yes, Hassan and Aram, मेरी स्क्रीन सही नज़र आ रही है बच्चे? Okay, the equation for the reaction between barium chloride and dilute sulfuric. Again, another salt which is very favorite of the examiner is your barium sulfate and your silver chloride. So remember these two equations as well for these two. ठीक है. अच्छा जी, so we have barium chloride and sulfuric acid. Acid हमेशा aqueous होता है. Barium sulfate is going to be solid. HCl again aqueous. BaCl2 is a soluble salt. हमने mnemonic जो पढ़े थे chloride के लिए and for sulfates, you all remember the mnemonics? Sulfates. So chloride के लिए we have a mnemonic which is PMS and sulfates के लिए we have PCB. That stands for कि अगर मेरे पास lead, mercury या silver आ जाता है with chloride, that's going to be insoluble. Sulfates के लिए you all I think love match, so lead, calcium and barium. ठीक है, these are the exceptions which I am writing it down for you guys. अच्छा जी, the equation for the reaction between aqueous option तो हमने pick नहीं की, so this is going to be aqueous in this case. The water sulfuric acid is aqueous, barium sulfate is solid, HCl is liquid. Aqueous, solid, aqueous, not liquid, sorry. A is going to be the option. ठीक है, A is going to be the option for this MCQ. अच्छा जी, question number 9 पे आ जाएं, which is going to be a calculation part here. Okay, so the equation for the reaction between aqueous lead to nitrate and aqueous sodium chloride is shown. If 100 centimeter cube of aqueous lead to nitrate of concentration 0.1 mole per dm cube is reacted with an excess of aqueous sodium chloride, which mass of lead 2 chloride is obtained? Lead 2 chloride. इसका mass हमें चाहिए, and we are given 100 centimeter cube of lead nitrate, and the concentration is given to us with excess sodium chloride. ठीक है. So what we have given is, you might remember the relationships में क्या होता है कि हमारे पास एक चीज़ का mass given होता है, दूसरी चीज़ का mass पूछा होता है, ठीक है, या एक चीज़ का mass given होता है, उसकी concentration पूछी होती है. So the same thing is applied here as well. They have given us the mass in this case. They have given us the volume and concentration, so you have to find the moles. I'm going to give you some time to solve this part. So we have to find the moles of lead nitrate. Then using the balanced equation, the mole ratio is 1:1, तो lead chloride के moles भी उतने ही होंगे, ठीक है. Then you are going to multiply it with the MR of lead chloride to find the mass, ठीक है. I'm giving you a minute to start sorting it out. I'm just going to sort out my screen meanwhile. Everything is moving except the thing which I want to move. हाँ जी, it's getting a little better, I think. Little baby steps. चलें, let's get going. हाँ जी, निकाला किसी ने आंसर कि मैं निकालूं? Yes, PCB, you remember? ठीक है जी. चलें, okay, let's move ahead with this and let's find the moles and let's wrap it up in a few minutes. Let me just walk you through some you could say equations and all that as well. अच्छा जी, तो हमारे पास 100 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब के इसके moles हैं and we are going to use C equals to N over V, and when we use that, concentration is going to be 0.1 multiplied by volume is going to be 100 equals to number of moles. So 100 multiplied by 0.1, and we have the volume is divided by 1000. So that's going to give me 1.1 multiplied by 100 divided by 1000. नहीं sorry, 0.01. ठीक है, मेरे पास ये आ गए number of moles of lead nitrate. And when I look at this, the moles is going to be the same. Now the next thing is that I have to the equation sodium chloride with mass of, okay, so we have to find the MR of PbCl2. I don't know what is the AR of lead. Anybody knows what is the AR of lead? I'll have to look it up because I have no idea what is the AR of lead. 207 है शायद, let me just check. C is the answer for question number 9. Aram, lead is 207 if I'm correct. Lead mass 207, yes. So 207 plus 71, it's going to give me 278. Yeah, that's correct. Yes, you are right, Arham. Very good. So so you have the moles of PbCl2 equals to 0.01, and mass is going to be multiplied it's going to be 2.78. ठीक है, चलें जी. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन. अच्छा, प्रेसिपिटेट्स. Yes, solubility rules के अंदर हमारे पास precipitates are very important as well. We have acidified silver nitrate which is added to a test tube containing chloride ions. अब सिल्वर के साथ अगर मेरे पास क्लोरीन है तो इट्स गोइंग टू गिव मी अ वाइट प्रेसिपिटेट. अगर मेरे पास आयोडीन प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है या लेड आयोडाइड या सिल्वर आयोडाइड प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, इट्स गोइंग टू गिव मी अ येलो प्रेसिपिटेट. एंड इफ इट इज गिविंग मी ब्रोमीन, इट्स गोइंग टू गिव मी अ क्रीम प्रेसिपिटेट. ठीक है. सो ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑन एडिंग सिल्वर नाइट्रेट. अच्छा जी, क्वेश्चन पढ़ लें. Acidified aqueous silver nitrate is added to a test tube containing aqueous chloride ion. So it's going to give me a white precipitate. Yellow iodide के साथ देता है. ठीक है. ऑब्जर्विंग रिएक्शन अंडर द सनलाइट. तो येलो लाइट के अंदर प्रेसिपिटेट को कोई असर नहीं होगा उसकी सेहत के ऊपर. इट्स गोइंग टू रिमेन एज इट इज़ इन दिस केस. ठीक है. एंड वी आर गोइंग टू, it's not going to dissolve for sure. It can turn a little gray. Oxidation हो सकती है. Silver ions are reduced. Yes. So I think it's going to be D, 14 का. ठीक है. अच्छा जी. Okay. Okay. Aqueous iron 3 chloride FeCl3 reacts with aqueous potassium iodide. Which statements are correct? In the balanced equation, V, W, X and Y have the same value. Potassium iodide is an oxidizing agent. A dark brown solution is produced in the reaction. ठीक है. A dark brown solution is produced in the reaction. So they have the same value. Yes, they will have the same value. Is an oxidizing agent. बिल्कुल ठीक है. So it's नहीं, it's a reducing agent. Dark brown solution is produced in the reaction. आयोडीन प्रोड्यूस हुआ है तो इट्स गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस अ डार्क ब्राउन कलर. ये मेरे पास कलरलेस है और वो मेरे पास आयोडीन प्रोड्यूस हो गया. तो आई थिंक इट्स गोइंग टू बी बी. यस, इट्स गोइंग टू बी बी. ठीक है. अच्छा जी, वी कैन गो ऑन एंड ऑन अबाउट द MCQs. लेट मी जस्ट गिव यू सम ऑफ दीज. 278. ओके, ठीक है. अच्छा जी, एल्युमिनियम की इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस आई थिंक सबको याद होगी. एक दो MCQs थे विच आई वांटेड टू डिस्कस. अच्छा, एवरीबडी रिमेंबर्स हाउ टू मेक एन एस्टर. ठीक है ना. एस्टर प्लीज़ देख लीजिएगा. एस्टर की फॉर्मेशन किस तरीके से, एस्टर किस तरीके से बनाना है. यू नीड टू बी क्लियर अबाउट दैट कि एस्टर किस तरीके से बनाना है. ठीक है. अब एस्टर के अंदर हमारे पास दो पार्ट है. एक एसिड का पार्ट है और एक अल्कोहल का पार्ट है. लेकिन हम लिखते किस तरीके से, प्रोनाउंस ऑपोजिट तरीके से करते हैं, विच गेट्स द स्टूडेंट्स अ लिटिल कंफ्यूजिंग कि अच्छा लिखा पहले वो है, बोला पहले किया है. सो यस, दैट्स गोइंग टू हैपन इन दिस केस एज वेल. And when we talk about COH, this is a part of your acid and we have OH which is a part of your alcohol. ठीक है. सो यहाँ से आपका OH आएगा और यहाँ से आपका H आएगा to make water in this case. Please remember this. And your bond is going to be C double bond O and O. This is your asteral linkage which is formed. So यानी कि ये वाला जो पार्ट O का आया हुआ है ये कमिंग फ्रॉम एन अल्कोहल. सो अल्कोहल कौन सी यूज़ हो रही है यहाँ पे? मेथनॉल. ठीक है, मेथनॉल यूज़ हो रही है. एंड 2 कार्बन एसिड. 2 कार्बन एसिड इज गोइंग टू बी योर एथेनोइक एसिड. तो जो हमारे पास बन रहा है, पहले हम नाम किसका देते हैं? अल्कोहल का. बाद में से हमारे पास एस्टर का नाम आता है. सो मिथाइल एथेनोएट. ठीक है. इन दिस केस इट्स गोइंग टू बी दिस पार्ट. ओके जी. क्रोमेटोग्राफी आई थिंक सबको याद है. RF वैल्यू की रिविजन के लिए RF वैल्यू इज ऑलवेज लेस देन 1. So if you have to calculate the RF value, please remember it's the distance by dye or substance divided by the solvent front का distance. अगर फॉर्मूला उल्टा कर दिया तो फिर वैल्यू सही नहीं आएगी. ठीक है. सो प्लीज़ मेक श्योर दैट यू ऑल रिमेंबर दिस फॉर्मूला फॉर दिस. अच्छा जी, एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो बिकॉज RF वैल्यूज हमारे पास ट्रैवल की है ऑन अ पेपर क्रोमेटोग्राफी, यू कैन ऑल सी दैट एंड यू कैन ऑल विजुअलाइज इट एज वेल. सो उसके अंदर आप एस्टिमेट भी कर सकते हैं. विच मेजरमेंट आर यूज टू फाइंड द आर एफ वैल्यू ऑफ टी. अच्छा, इसके अंदर टी के लिए हम लोग यूजुअली मिड पॉइंट से लेते हैं, लेकिन येस बेस लाइन से डिस्टेंस 4 वी नीड दैट, एंड वी नीड दिस डिस्टेंस 3 and 4. ठीक है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर सॉल्वेंट फ्रंट, दिस इज योर बेस लाइन, एंड दिस इज द स्पॉट विच इज डाइड हैज ट्रेवल. सो 3 and 4 इट्स गोइंग टू बी डी ऑप्शन इन दिस केस. ठीक है. अच्छा जी, I think, yeah, I think this should be it. And for your organic, I would say कि जो आपके पास structures होते हैं, let's just wrap up, or you could say just summarize a few important things for your MCQ paper. So first thing is solubility rules का ख्याल रखना है, एसिड बेसिस के रिएक्शंस का ध्यान रखना है. ठीक है, रिएक्शंस आपको याद होने चाहिए कि रिएक्शन होके आपके पास प्रोडक्ट क्या बन रहा है. Then you have to also remember जो बेस का रिएक्शन मैंने अमोनियम वाला कहा था, दैट रिएक्शन इज इम्पॉर्टेंट एज वेल. उसके अलावा जो पॉलीमर्स बनते हैं, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि पॉलीमर्स किस तरीके से बन रहे हैं. ठीक है, इसके अंदर मोनोमर कौन सा है और पॉलीमर कौन सा, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट एज वेल. उसके अलावा आई थिंक यू ऑल नो कि रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन में व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स विच अफेक्ट द रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन, एंड आई थिंक यू गाइज आर गुड टू गो. ठीक है, सो इफ़ एनीबडी हैज़ एनी क्वेश्चंस और सर्टन थिंग विच दे वांटेड टू डिस्कस. बाकी आई थिंक MCQ का पेपर काफ़ी बैलेंस होता है, उसके अंदर हमें इतनी मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती. सो इफ़ एनीबडी हैज़ एनी स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू एनी स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक, दे कैन आस्क नाउ. हाँ जी, आई एम वेटिंग फॉर द रिप्लाई इफ देयर इज़ एनी. हाँ जी, अरहम एंड हसान और हुज़ैफ़ा, एनीबडी वांट्स टू हैव एनी थिंग विच दे वांट टू डिस्कस, आर वी गुड टू गो. ठीक है, यू कैन हिट मी अप, लेट मी नो हाउ योर पेपर वेंट, एंड गुड लक गाइज. ठीक है, इंशाल्लाह सी यू देन.